Hi, I'm Willie Mayette from PianoWithWillie.com. Today I want to talk about thinking like an artist. Now, I'm going to shock you. My main goal is not to teach you how to play the piano. Right? Now that might seem kind of strange, like why wouldn't that be my main goal? I'm going to tell you why it's not my main goal. You can go anywhere to learn how to play the piano. In fact, my wife Valerie, I showed her how to play the piano years ago, and she knows like one song, and I was talking to her about this. It's like you could take that one song, show it to someone else, and it might take you a day, a week, a year to show them that song, but guess what? You just taught them piano as well. Now they know that one song. Okay, so you could get onto YouTube, you can get anywhere and just learn a bunch of songs, a bunch of music. All right, so my job is not, I don't see my job as just teaching you how to play the piano. I want to teach you how to think like an artist. Okay, I want to teach you how to be an artist. I want to teach you how to tap in to your self-expression. Now, let's talk about what the difference is. People play the piano for all different reasons. You might play the piano because you've had this burning desire to play an instrument. You might play the piano because you've always done it since you were a little kid and you just kept continuing. Good for you, all right? You might play it because you're trying to impress somebody, right? You might want to just be able to sit down and play a song quick to be able to impress your girlfriend, your wife, your spouse, whatever, all right? Even co-workers at the holiday party. So here's the difference though. When you just learn the piano, and you just learn notes. So you get onto YouTube and someone's showing you like, here's the notes, they write it on a whiteboard or write out the notes or whatever they're doing, they're showing you notes, okay? So in other words, like, you start to get this kind of stuff where you can play. So like here's like that Adele, Someone Like You. And you can hear the rhythm is kind of not great. It's kind of like the tempo isn't great. The way that I'm playing the notes as well, the technique behind those notes isn't all that great either, right? But now listen to the difference when you start to like really. You hear that difference of like the nice flowing nature of that phrase, of those measures. You hear the dynamics, but then we can also start to move out of that. We don't have to just play what Adele played. We can do. Now, you hear the difference there? The difference is that now I am approaching this like an artist. You can even see the difference in the way that I'm moving my body, the way that I feel that music. Now, you might say, yeah, you know what, maybe Willie, you have a gift, you can do that, all right? And I am very grateful for the gift that I have. But my gift is not that I was born with this ability to do this. My gift is that I was born with a burning desire. I had this desire to learn an instrument, okay? I had something inside of me that I needed to say, and this was the only way I could really get it out and say it. I do a lot of writing, okay? I write articles and whatnot, but I find it like the word is not always the best way for me to fully express what I have to say. Fully express what I have to say. Yes, I can get out my ideas and whatnot, but there's something special about just sitting down and playing that simple little thing, okay? Or if I want to sit down and I just want to improvise and create something on the spot, like. That's something original right then, right now. Okay? If I tried playing that again, I wouldn't play it the same way. I'd play it differently. Okay? All right, so now, again, you might say, okay, that's some kind of gift. That can't be taught to me. It most certainly can. I know this for a fact because I've taught it to other students, all right? Hundreds and thousands of other students that I've worked with, both privately and online, they're able to now express themselves through their instruments. Okay? Now, if you're watching this video, okay, if you say, hey, look, I want to learn how to play the piano, I want to learn how to do that, then you already have some burning desire within you. There's already something in there, some reason why you want to learn this instrument, okay? And there's some expression within you that you need to get out. Now, you might be a complete beginner, you might be an intermediate, you might even be a professional level player, you just want to like get to that next level. Now, I will tell you as an artist, it's not easy. This takes work, okay? I mean, anyone that believes that, you know, you can learn how to like, you know, really express yourself and play the piano in 30 minutes, I mean, they're selling you lies, I hate to tell you, okay? Can I show you how to play something at the piano in, you know, just a few seconds? Yes, okay? So if I take this A chord, I did an A chord, all right, in the second inversion, so I have E, A, and C sharp. Okay? I'm not even going to do the virtual keyboard like I normally do. It's just going to be right here. I'm going to tell you the notes. So now if I break this up and I go C sharp, E, A, C sharp, E, A, C sharp, I'm using my fourth finger, and I go down to E, and I go down and I come up to A with my second finger. So C sharp, E, A, C sharp, E, A. I take my left hand, I just play an octave down here, okay? So I can get that nice chord, all right, and I can start to express myself through dynamics, right? You notice how I started to have some of the softer and got a little louder. I can come down here as well. Nice and soft, get a little bit louder. See how I'm moving my arm? There's a fluidity to what it is that I'm doing. These are the types of things that I teach you so that you learn how to play the instrument properly. Right? I actually was on a website in which, you know, they're teaching piano lessons, and one of the people who was a case study, their shoulders are like this, and I wanted to tell that girl, whoever was in the picture, please don't play like that. You're going to hurt yourself, all right? Now, how do I know that? Because I hurt myself as a young player. It took me a long time. Take a look at my pain, tension, and technique lesson. It took me a long time to really learn how do I play this instrument so I'm not going to hurt myself, so that I can get my full expression into this instrument. So anyway, what I was saying is that as artists, it takes time. And there are times in which, you know what, as artists, we say to ourselves, oh man, I just can't do this. Why am I doing this? You know what? Every artist, I don't care who it is, right? I'm sure that the great Bill Evans, pianist, you know, said this at one point to himself. I'm sure that Adele, you know, we were just talking about Adele there, you know, or Rihanna, or whoever, whatever your idol, your musical idol is, you know, Billy Joel, I'm sure that he has gone through times in which it's like, oh man, I just can't do this, I'm not good enough, you know, I just, you know, what am I doing here? You know, oh, that's terrible, this song is no good, all right? We hear about this all of the time, and a lot of times we think that it's only our own inside voice, that it's just our voice inside saying, no, 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 you can't do that, you can't do it, no, no, stop, stop, stop. Because in many ways, we've been taught not to really be creative. We've been taught to follow the rules. And that's a good thing, okay? There's nothing wrong with following the rules. In fact, my son and I are doing karate together. One of the things is follow the rules, you know? And yes, he obviously needs to learn that, just like I've needed to learn that as well. There are times when you need to follow the rules. But then there are also times in which you need to learn to express yourself. And there's something inside that just cannot be stopped. You got to get it out. And now you might have taken a look at other lessons. You might take a look at my lessons. You might go to someone else's lessons. You know what? I think that's great. You know, take a look at all the lessons you can. But the reason that my method is special and the reason that I'm really passionate about what it is that I do is because I really feel as though we have one of the most special ways of teaching you how to play the piano, right? And the reason is that we're not just showing you notes, okay? Like I said, anyone can show you notes. I'm showing you how to tap into that inner artist. And you do have an inner artist within you, okay? Because remember, here's another way of looking at it, okay? Let's say I want to go home and woo my wife, you know? Like I want to like make it so that like, oh, she's going to be really impressed with me. So I take a look at a piece of poetry, right? And I take a look at this poetry and I just memorize the words and I go to her and I memorize this, you know, I repeat these words to her, okay? You know, is she going to be all that wooed? You know, probably not. All right? Let's just say I'm even just reading the words. You know, she's probably not going to be impressed by that, right? And if I just memorize and repeated it back to her, it's probably not going to be impressed by that either. But now if I read the words, I memorize them, commit them, like bring them internally, but then, this is where the magic happens. Now I start to mix that with my own being. So now I start to take a look at each line or stanza, you know, of the poetry or the lyrics or whatnot, and I say, hey, look, how, like what you know, what do I have in myself, in my own past, in my own learning that I can relate to that? And oh yeah, that's like, remember that time? And now I start to attach what? Memories and emotions, feelings, the core being of who we are as people, right? I start to attach that to this music, all right? So, or to this lyrics, poem, whatever it is, okay? Now, when I attach that, I have this like, you know, glomming together of, you know, the notes, the lyrics, the whatnot, but now I bring in my core being, my emotion, my self-expression, and now I got something special, okay? Now when I go and I say those words, now it just doesn't come from here, okay? And it also just doesn't come from here either. It comes from both. Both are joined together. And this right here creates the artist. This you know, joining of the brain, all of the technical stuff, along with, you know, the cerebral with the visceral, with all of that feeling, all of that passion. That's why when you see someone play an instrument, have you ever seen someone play an instrument? You're just like, wow, they're just like lost in what it is that they're doing. And now a lot of times we, you know, might think from the outside, oh, they're just feeling it. Well, no. Their brain is quite active. I can tell you. I know for a fact because it happens to me as well. You know, your brain stays very active. You're thinking about things like you're reacting, okay? And these reactions happen at a split second. And you're also feeling, right? So you're bringing these together. Now, all of this might sound like, oh yeah, great, you know, that's just awesome, right? Doing that. How does that actually apply? How do we actually bring that into practical application? You know, you might say, I sit at a desk all day. I want to come home and I want to sit and I want to learn an instrument. I mean, yeah, I don't really want to be an artist or anything like that. I'm not interested in playing at, you know, Carnegie Hall or doing gigs. I just want to play for my own enjoyment. Okay, here's the thing. If you're just going to learn notes, you're always going to be stuck, right? And then you might have already found that out right now. You might have, like, you know, taken a look at all these YouTube videos or other teachers or whatnot, and you find that, gosh, I keep having to come back to that same source in order to progress to another song, you know? So I've seen teachers online in which they write out like all of the notes, like, okay, it's a C, E, and a G, and they write it out, and it's like, okay, these are the notes that you play. Never teaching you really how to like read music or like, you know, using these skills that millions of musicians use, right? We as musicians use music to go back and forth. So then we say, oh, okay, you know, just learn by ear, or like I'm going to show you what notes. And that's great. You can go ahead and do that. But I will tell you, right, because I've seen this with students, right? I've seen it with myself. I've seen it with other musicians. What happens is you get to a point in which, you know, you get stuck. I'm going to give you an example, actually. I did this work with a female songwriter and guitarist, okay? And her expression kind of got stuck because she really didn't know what the chords were that she was playing. So when we did work together, you know, she actually had to like go through and say each of the notes, like play each note of the chord so that we could figure out, oh, it's this chord, okay? So what did she need? She needed me or another musician to be able to tell her, oh, like, this is what you're playing, okay? So then, in order to be able to move on and be able to play with other musicians and write, you know, other stuff and, you know, and understand what you're doing, she needed another musician to kind of help, you know, translate, let's say, you know, all of the theory. Okay? And that's unfortunate because here you got something. You're expressing yourself, but now you want to be able to communicate this with others, not just like, oh, I have no idea what I'm playing. You know, I just learned this off of the internet, and I got no idea what it is that I'm doing. I don't teach like that. I want you to know what it is you're doing. This is why we go through things several different ways so you really understand what it is that you're doing, okay? So getting back to and wrapping up, because I know I've talked a while here, but I'm really passionate about this because being an artist, it just changes your perspective. It really does. And it doesn't take much to get into that. My method of utilizing rhythm, technique, reading music is your foundational, and then also all of your song style and concept. If you think, it's really kind of like that mind-body thing, okay? You have all your foundational stuff up here, like, stuff that you need to know, and I talked about that in another video talking about my method, right? But then you also have all of the, visceral stuff. Oh, learning the song, learning the style, just learning all that. Just like learning how to express yourself and like improvise over different styles and understanding chords and concepts, right? So that's the practical way in which you get to this thinking like an artist. You follow this method. That's going to get you on your way to thinking like an artist, right? The other thing you can do is, taking a look at my articles, my videos, you're going to notice that you also get me. You're going to see my passion. You're going to understand like, oh yes, you can do this. I know for a fact you can do it because like I said, I've taught hundreds and thousands of other students to do it, all right? So if you say, oh, I can't play with my left hand, or oh, I'm too old to do this, I have heard it all. I really have, all right? I've heard people say, oh, I'm too old to do this, and then guess what? After a couple of weeks, couple of months, they're actually playing. I'm going to be honest with you, all right? As long as you're willing to practice. If you think you're going to like buy one of my DVDs or sign up for one of my lessons and, just by the sheer fact that you bought it, that somehow you're going to put it up to your head or your hands and it's like, oh, now I know. No, it's not magic, okay? It takes work, but it can be stuff that's fun to do, all right? And then of course the last thing is that you got us as a support system. We have a team here. It's not just me doing this. I'm really lucky that I have a really good team of other professionals that work with me, which means that, when you need help, we're here for you Monday through Friday. We're usually not here on the weekends, but Monday through Friday, we are here for you. So that if you get stuck, contact us. We're more than happy to help you out. Our mission is to teach you how to express yourself at your instrument. So therefore, together, we're going to add more art and beauty to the world, right? The mission may seem corny to you, but I truly believe it. We need more art and beauty in the world. And whether that be you sitting at home and like, doing something like that, or even just doing something simple. Just simple chords, but really just getting into that emotion. Not just playing notes. Here I'm just playing notes. And for some, that might be fine. You might say, hey, look, that's all I want to do. If that's all you want to do, then YouTube's a great place to do that. You can learn all the notes you need to know, all right, probably on some video on YouTube. But if you want to get to that point in which you actually express yourself, where you take those notes, okay, and you take your emotion, you take the cerebral and the visceral, and you combine them together, that is something very, very powerful, okay, very powerful indeed. Now, I'll leave you with this last thought. When I was in high school, and this great band director, Joe Pelosi, right? He's a great guy, and he taught me so much about music. And he's really one of the reasons why I'm a musician today, right? Because I actually thought I might go into the Navy. I've never actually mentioned that before, so this would be the one video in which I actually said I actually thought I might want to go to the Naval Academy or do something like that. So Joe Pelosi said this extremely important thing to me that has stuck with me for my entire life. And he said, if you want to touch somebody, you need to go beyond the notes. It's really that simple. Okay? So if you get notes right here in front of you, you're taking a look at a piece of sheet music, okay? You need to go beyond that sheet music. And that doesn't mean you look behind it. No, no, no. It means that, again, like I was saying, like, you take the words, the lyrics, the notes, whatever it is, you mix it with you, right? With your self-expression, with your emotion, your passion, what it is that you have lived your life. Now, what do you notice there? No one else can do that. Your voice is unique. What you have to say as an artist is unique from anyone else. I can teach you the same notes as someone else, but guess what? My perspective on it is going to be different than someone else, right? I'm going to reach somebody that all of these other teachers have not been able to reach because I'm going to say it in a different way, right? I'm going to have emotion behind it. I'm going to have an experience behind it that's going to bring it to the table in a completely different way. That's the same thing for you as well, right? So when you sit down, whether it be playing a triad, whether it be playing that simple little thing like that, you're going to play it differently than me, and you're going to express yourself at the instrument differently than I will, right? And that's a beautiful thing. When you go beyond those notes and you actually touch someone else in the audience, not physically, obviously, you touch someone, right? Through your music, whew, it's powerful. Really is powerful, okay? With my group, JAZZEDGE, we were touring in the Pacific Northwest, and we did this gig, and we had a couple come up to us afterwards and say, "You saved our marriage." Whoa! Yeah, they said, what was it? They were fighting, and then they put on our CD, and the music just got them to reconcile. I mean, they just realized that, you know, this was silly what we were fighting about. You know, I'm sorry, and you know, it's pretty powerful. You know? Now, was it as grand as did we really save their marriage? No, but the point is, we brought joy and happiness. We brought art and beauty into the world with this music. And it doesn't take a PhD, it doesn't take a degree, it doesn't take years and years of lessons to do this. You can start doing this right away. I encourage you to do it today, right? If you already know some piano, sit down. Start to think about, okay, what is the emotion that I want to bring to this? And one of the best ways, here's the real practical tip. One of the best ways of applying emotion to the instrument starts with a D, dynamics. Okay? That's how we translate emotion to the piano. Because if I just talked like this, all at one volume, and I never change my voice and, you know, the volume and pitch of my voice, you know, you get bored right away, don't you? Okay? But what I'm doing is sometimes I get, you know, excited, and sometimes I just kind of back off, right? That's the same thing that we do at the instrument. Those are dynamics, okay? The louds and the softs. Start with that. There's articulation and other stuff that we talk about in the lessons, right? But you start with those dynamics first, and you're going to notice a change in your playing. Stay relaxed in your body. That's another way, as artists, we think about how to remain relaxed in our body so that we can really let the music come through us. Right? We really start to express ourselves. Okay? Now, I understand these are like, whoa, these might be big concepts for you. Okay? You might just want to learn the notes, and if that's what you want to do, go ahead and start there. Okay? You could do that with my stuff, or you could do that with someone else's stuff. Right? But you probably will hit a point in which you're like, oh, gosh, I know there's something more. There is something more. That's being an artist. Right? When you tap into that artistic sensibility, right? That artistic passion, really something special. So anyway, I hope this helped you. If you have questions, feel free to get in touch with us. You can also reach us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/PianoWithWillie, all right? And like I like to say, I'll see you in the lessons.